What's up? How you doing, Stella?
I feel like I'm on a beautiful beach somewhere.
Sipping on
pina coladas.
I go by the name, you know the Don. Get used to me, baby.
Hey love, you can stay up in my condo. I'm from New York, baby, I ain't from Toronto. You see the car, that's a Murcielago. A lot of women follow everywhere that I go. She from New York, but she moved to Chicago. Big city, big dreams. Nice shape, nice ass, nice jeans. Louis Vuitton, her walk so mean. It's all good, cause every king need a queen. Hey young world, hey young girl.
This is Straight Up.
I'm doing my thing.
Straight Up is a show produced right out of Brooklyn. I'm Stella Winston, your host. My guest today is R&B artist, hip-hop artist, Ukno. Ukno is here to perform 4 of his songs, as well as to talk about his story. I'd like to welcome to Straight Up, Ukno.
How you doing?
Okay, how are you?
I'm blessed. Blessed to be here.
Yeah, okay. Now, rumor has it that you have an interesting story, so I want to go right into that. And of all the people I've talked to about you, the story never came up. So what is compelling about your story? What happened?
It starts off, the name of my album is going to be called Testimony. And the reason I call it Testimony is based on a story that happened to me in my life. In 2007, I had a premature baby that passed away. And what basically happened, I remember at the time my wife was trying to wake me up, and she told me my son wasn't breathing. I tried to perform CPR on him. You know, the ambulance came right away. They pronounced him dead, you know, and then right after that, 4 o'clock in that same afternoon, 4 men in suits came to our house. They put her in one car, they put me in another. I have a little girl as well, so they had her in the car with my wife at the time. They interrogated us for 6 hours. You know, they tried to blame the death of my son on us. They said it was blunt force trauma to the head. So it's like blood contusion from one side of the brain to the next. They tried to say somebody hit my son. You know, so it was like living in a nightmare at the time. Like it was hard to like digest. They took custody of my daughter. The same time, you know, to leave and to wake up the next morning to be in the newspaper, to be in the news, it was rough, you know. And then, you know, my wife at the time who I was with walked out on me, you know, like say like 2 months later.
Now, were the two of you cleared of the charges? What was the result of the criminal investigation? What happened with that?
They put us in front of a grand jury of 24 people to prove our innocence, and you know, Christ God pulled everything through. So
okay,
you know.
And how old was your son, the one that passed?
He was 2 months.
2 months
like,
old.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was hard to lose a child. You know, that's every parent's nightmare.
Yeah.
As a parent, I can speak about that. You had to emotionally deal with losing a child and then the trauma of going through the criminal system.
Yeah.
As if you took the life of your own child.
Yeah.
How did that affect you as a person and then as an artist?
It started off affecting me as a man first. I felt like prior to that situation, I was a boy. And after the situation, I became a man because I became I came very close to Christ. You know, he helped guide me through that situation because, like I said, they took custody of my daughter as well. So we didn't have my daughter. We were getting treated like we were criminals. You know, and that's a hard thing to digest, especially you wake up one morning and you're in the newspaper, you're in the news, and you're like, how did this happen? You know, and every day you're walking outside, you're worrying about, is this my last day? Like, are they going to take me? Because they wanted to put us behind bars for the rest of our life. You know, me and my wife wasn't seeing eye to eye. You know, like I said, I guess at the time I really couldn't stand up as a man, so she moved on to someone else. But it was hard. You know, to go through all that at one time, it was very difficult, you know, but...
So where were you as an artist before that happened? And, okay, let's start from the beginning. Okay, you are a native Brooklynite.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Crown Heights,
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Correct.
Okay. And you rap and you also sing and you do poetry as well.
Yeah.
When did you start? And
I started when I was very young. You know, people like my cousins and them, they would DJ at a party. I would pick up the mic at the end of the party and people will embrace me, you know, and from that I felt there was a certain energy and goosebumps that it gave me that I was like, this is something I feel like I want to do and I can do, but I was always shy and nervous. Like outside of being an artist, I'm very laid back into myself. So music is like a form of like letting loose and being like this personality and character. So I had to develop that personality, develop that person, you know. So it took a while, you know, and I feel like after the trial, I was like, whoa, you know, if life can hit you this real, there's nothing that the industry can do to stop me to pursue my dream and my goal. So I lost everything. So I was like, in order for me to get that back, I have to stand up as a man, and I feel like this is my way.
so the Black Swan, I'll call it, the loss of your child, the criminal activity involved with it, the loss of your wife, loss of your marriage. How did it change your music? Did it change you as an artist?
Yeah.
And how did it change you? You're still you were hip hop,
Yeah.
R&B before that.
Yeah.
What happened after? Is it the content
Yeah.
of your songs?
It became more spiritual. I stopped cursing in my music. I didn't refer to women by degrading them. I didn't curse in my music anymore. It became more heartfelt, more painful, but it was relatable, you know, because I felt like there's a side of hip hop that's missing. It's missing that voice, a voice of a Malcolm X, a Martin Luther King, or a Tupac, or a Biggie, a pastor. Like there's something that hip hop is missing, and I feel like I can provide that voice, fill that void, you know, and that's what I became after the tragedy.
Okay. Now, you perform 4 songs here on Straight Up. Runway, Red Eye Red, Don't Hurt Them, Diamonds on My Neck. Now, did you write these songs after the experience?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's begin with the first one, Runway.
Runway it's like, the concept of that song was basically like my PR, she's a model. My manager at the time, she was a model. We like, a lot of the times when we do shows, we like incorporate fashion shows. So it's like hip hop meets fashion. So that's where the inspiration of the song came from. I'm surrounded by beautiful women, so I was like, you know what, I want to make a song that they can walk down the runway to.
Okay. Now, what about Red Eye Red?
Red Eye Red, basically I'm Trini, you know, my background is Trinidadian and Tobago. So I'm surrounded by like Caribbean people. You know, I go to different backyard parties, so on and so forth. So I wanted to make a song where when I'm in that backyard, that I can, you know, my music can also be a part of the festivities that's going on. So it's like a hip hop, reggae type of infusion song. So that's where I came up with the concept, Red Eye Red. It's like a Brooklyn takeover record.
Red Eye Red. I've got to ask this. How'd you come up, what's behind the name Red Eye Red?
Red Eye Red, envious people.
Envious people. Okay, now is that is that something that you experience a lot in this industry? Say a little bit about that. Just tell one little story behind that.
Basically, like I said, Red Eye Red is like people that don't want you to prosper. They see you doing something good, and you know, you ever go somewhere and like, you know you did a great job at something and everybody's just sitting there like, whatever. So that's where the concept of Red Eye Red came from. Shots go straight to your head is not, people think it's gunshots, but it's basically taking shots at the industry. But it's a metaphor. It can also be having a drink or something of that nature. It's however it affects you in your everyday life.